I am rising on behalf of a group of very special people and also in commemoration of three very special days. The group of people are 364 nominations for military appointments who have been pending for months and months and months on the floor of the United States Senate. And I rise in their honor with the intention in a few minutes to begin offering unanimous consent motions so that they may finally be confirmed to the positions they've earned through their sacrifice in the uniform of this country. None of these 364 have anything to do, any responsibility over the policy with which my colleague from Alabama finds significant disagreement. I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the consideration of the following nomination. Calendar item 46, Colonel Lee A. Swanson to be Brigadier General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Mr. President, I ask that it be in order to make the same request with respect to calendar item 47, Major General Sean A. Kaine to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Major General Heidi Hoyle to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Brigadier General Lawrence S. Linton to be Major General.
Object.
Brigadier General Stacy M. Babcock to be Major General.
Object.
Major General Andrew J. Gabarra to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Major General Robert M. Collins to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
The following individuals nominated to be Brigadier General: Colonel Amy S. Bumgarner, Colonel Ivory D. Carter, Colonel Raja J. Chari, Colonel Jason E. Carruthers, Colonel John B. Creel, Colonel Nicholas B. Evans, Colonel Bridget V. Gigliotti, Colonel Christopher B. Hammond, Colonel Leslie F. Houck III, Colonel Kurt C. Helfenstein, Colonel Abraham L. Jackson, Colonel Benjamin R. Johnson, Colonel Joy M. Kazur, Colonel Christopher J. Leonard, Colonel Christopher E. Manui, Colonel David S. Miller, Colonel Jeffrey A. Phillips, Colonel Eric N. Quigley, Colonel Michael S. Rowe, Colonel Derek M. Salmi, Colonel K. M. Stevens, Colonel Joseph E. Sumangill, Colonel Terrence G. Taylor, Colonel Jason D. Voorhees, Colonel Michael O. Walters, Colonel Adrian L. Williams.
Object.
Colonel Corey A. Simmons to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Rear Admiral George M. Wyckoff to be Vice Admiral.
Object.
Rear Admiral Frederick W. Kotcher to be Vice Admiral.
Object.
The following group of individuals who have been nominated to be Brigadier General: Colonel Sean M. Carpenter, Colonel Mary K. Haddad, Colonel James L. Hartle, Colonel Aaron J. Hike, Colonel Joseph D. Janik, Colonel Michael T. McGinley, Colonel Kevin J. Merrill, Colonel Tara E. Nolan, Colonel Roderick C. Owens, Colonel Mark D. Ritchie, Colonel Norman B. Shaw, Jr.
Object.
The following couple of individuals nominated to be Brigadier General: Colonel Kristen A. Hillary, Colonel Michelle L. Wagner.
Object.
The following group of individuals nominated to be Major General: Brigadier General Elizabeth E. Arledge, Brigadier General Robert M. Blake, Brigadier General Vanessa J. Dornhofer, Brigadier General Christopher A. Freeman, Brigadier General David P. Garfield, Brigadier General Mitchell A. Hansen, Brigadier General Jody A. Merritt, Brigadier General Adrian K. White, Brigadier General William W. Wittenberger, Jr., and Brigadier General Christopher F. Yancey.
Object.
Rear Admiral Shoshana S. Chatfield to be Vice Admiral.
Object.
Colonel William F. Wilkerson to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Colonel Evelyn E. Laptook to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Brigadier General Ronald R. Reagan, R-A-G-I-N, to be Major General.
Object.
The following group of individuals nominated to be Brigadier General: Colonel Brandon C. Anderson, Colonel Beth A. Bean, Colonel Matthew W. Brahman, Colonel Kenneth J. Burgess, Colonel Thomas E. Burke, Colonel Chad C. Chalfant, Colonel Kendall J. Clark, Colonel Patrick M. Costello, Colonel Rory A. Crooks, Colonel Troy M. Denemy, Colonel Sarah E. Dudley, Colonel Joseph E. Iskandon, Colonel Alric L. Francis, Colonel George C. Hackler, Colonel William C. Hanan, Jr., Colonel Peter G. Hart, Colonel Gregory L. Holden, Colonel Paul D. Howard, Colonel James G. Kent, Colonel Curtis W. King, Colonel Shannon M. Lucas, Colonel Landis C. Maddox, Colonel Kareem P. Montague, Colonel John B. Mountford, Colonel David C. Phillips, Colonel Kenneth N. Reed, Colonel John W. Sanis, Colonel Andrew O. Saslov, Colonel Charlone E. Stallworth, Colonel Jennifer S. Walkowitz, Colonel Camilla A. White, Colonel Scott D. Wilkinson, Colonel Jeremy S. Wilson, Colonel Scott S. Woodward, Colonel Joseph W. Wortham II, Colonel David J. Zinn.
Object.
The following group of individuals nominated to be Brigadier General: Colonel David R. Everly, Colonel Kelvin W. Gallman, Colonel Adolfo Garcia, Jr., Colonel Matthew T. Good, Colonel Trevor Hall, Colonel Richard D. Joyce, Colonel Omar J. Randall, Colonel Robert S. Weiler.
Object.
Lower half for the following two individuals: Captain Walter D. Brafford, Captain Robert J. Hawkins.
Object.
The following group of individuals nominated to be Rear Admiral lower half: Captain Amy N. Bowerschmidt, Captain Michael B. DeVore, Captain Thomas A. Donovan, Captain Frederick C. Goldhammer, Captain Ian L. Johnson, Captain Neil A. Kaprowski, Captain Paul J. Lanzalata, Captain Joshua Lasky, Captain Donald W. Marks, Captain Craig T. Mattingly, Captain Andrew T. Miller, Captain Lincoln M. Reifsteck, Captain Frank A. Rhodes IV, Captain Thomas E. Schultz, Captain Todd E. Whalen, Captain Forrest O. Young.
Object.
To be Rear Admiral lower half: Captain Julie M. Traynor.
Object.
Two individuals nominated to be Rear Admiral: Rear Admiral Casey J. Moten and Rear Admiral Stephen R. Tedford.
Object.
Rear Admiral Rick Friedman to be Rear Admiral.
Object.
Rear Admiral lower half Kenneth W. Epps to be Rear Admiral.
Object.
The following group of individuals nominated to be Rear Admiral: Rear Admiral lower half Stephen D. Barnett, Rear Admiral lower half Richard T. Brophy, Jr., Rear Admiral lower half Joseph F. Cahill III, Rear Admiral lower half Brian L. Davies, Rear Admiral lower half Michael P. Donnelly, Rear Admiral lower half Daniel P. Martin, Rear Admiral lower half Richard E. Seif, Jr., Rear Admiral lower half Paul C. Spadero, Jr., Rear Admiral lower half Derek A. Trinke, Rear Admiral lower half Dennis Velez, Rear Admiral lower half Darrell L. Walker, Rear Admiral lower half Jeremy B. Williams.
Object.
Captain Frank G. Schlereth III to be Rear Admiral, lower half.
Object.
The following pair of individuals to be nominated to be Rear Admiral, lower half: Captain Joshua C. Himes and Captain Curtis A. Mole.
Object.
The following group of individuals on Executive Calendar 105 to be Rear Admiral, lower half: Captain Thomas J. Dickinson, Captain Kevin R. Smith, Captain Todd S. Weeks, and Captain Dana Wolfson.
Object.
To be Major General, Brigadier General Thomas W. Harrell and Brigadier General Janine M. Ryder.
Object.
Lieutenant General James W. Bierman to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
These individuals as a group nominated to be Major General: Brigadier General Curtis R. Bass, Brigadier General Kenyon K. Bell, Brigadier General Charles D. Bolton, Brigadier General Larry R. Brodwell, Jr., Brigadier General Scott A. Kaine, Brigadier General Sean M. Choquette, Brigadier General Roy W. Collins, Brigadier General John R. Edwards, Brigadier General Jason T. Hines, Brigadier General Justin R. Hoffman, Brigadier General Stacy J. User, Brigadier General Matteo G. Martimucci, Brigadier General David A. Minot, Brigadier General Paul D. Moga, Brigadier General Ty W. Newman, Brigadier General Christopher J. Nemi, Brigadier General Brandon D. Parker, Brigadier General Michael T. Rawls, Brigadier General Patrick S. Ryder, Brigadier General David G. Shoemaker, Brigadier General Rebecca J. Sonkus, Brigadier General Claude K. Tudor, Jr., and Brigadier General Dale R. White.
Object.
Major General Bradford I. Gehring to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Major General Gregory L. Masiello to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Rear Admiral James P. Downey to be Vice Admiral.
Object.
Major General John W. Brennan to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Vice Admiral Carl O. Thomas to be Vice Admiral.
Object.
Lieutenant General Michael S. Cederholm to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Brigadier General Darren S. Durham to be Major General.
Object.
For the following three individuals to be Brigadier General:
Is there an objection?
Colonel Brandy B. Peasley, Colonel John D. Rhodes, Colonel Earl C. Sparks IV.
Object.
Brigadier General William Green, Jr. to be Major General.
Object.
Major General Mark T. Simmerly to be Lieutenant General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Vice Admiral Craig A. Clapperton to be Vice Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Colonel Brian R. Moore to be Brigadier General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Vice Admiral Daniel W. Dwyer to be Vice Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Rear Admiral lower half Darren K. Via to be Rear Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Rear Admiral lower half Darren K. Via to be Rear Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Lieutenant General Scott L. Plius to be Lieutenant General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Brigadier General Dale R. White to be Lieutenant General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Major General David A. Harris, Jr. to be Lieutenant General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Major General David R. Iverson to be Lieutenant General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Lieutenant General Kevin B. Schneider to be General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Major General Laura L. Lenderman to be Lieutenant General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Major General David M. Hodney to be Lieutenant General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Major General Robert B. Turner Jr. to be Lieutenant General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Rear Admiral Yvette M. Davids to be Vice Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Rear Admiral Brendan R. McLean to be Vice Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Rear Admiral John E. Gumbleton to be Vice Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Rear Admiral Christopher S. Gray to be Vice Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
To Vice Admiral Charles B. Cooper II to be Vice Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Rear Admiral James E. Pitts to be Vice Admiral.
Object.
General Kenneth S. Wilsbach to be General.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Major General Linda S. Hurry to be Lieutenant General.
Is there an objection? The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Brigadier General Miguel A. Mendez to be Major General.
Object.
Colonel Marlene K. Marcotin to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Vice Admiral William J. Houston to be Admiral.
Object.
Colonel David M. Castaneda to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Rear Admiral Robert M. Gosher to be Vice Admiral.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The senator from Alabama.
Object.
The objection is heard.
Rear Admiral Douglas G. Perry to be Vice Admiral.
Object.
Major General Carl H. Gingrich to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Rear Admiral Lower Half Kenneth R. Blackman, Rear Admiral Lower Half Mark S. Lederer, and Rear Admiral Lower Half Robert C. Nowakowski to be Rear Admiral.
Object.
The following group of individuals on calendar item 226 nominated to be Rear Admiral Lower Half: Captain Jeffrey A. Jurgemeyer, Captain Richard S. Lofgren, Captain Michael S. Mattis, Captain Richard W. Meyer, Captain Brian T. Smith, Captain Michael R. Van Poots.
Object.
Captain John E. Byington to be Rear Admiral Lower Half.
Object.
Captain John A. Robinson III to be Rear Admiral Lower Half.
Object.
Captain David E. Ludwa to be Rear Admiral Lower Half.
Object.
Captain Peter K. Mashinsky to be Rear Admiral Lower Half.
Object.
Captain Mark F. Williams to be Rear Admiral Lower Half.
Object.
Lieutenant General Andrew M. Rolling to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Major General John B. Richardson IV to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Vice Admiral Jeffrey W. Hughes to be Vice Admiral.
Object.
Lieutenant General Gregory M. Guillot to be General.
Object.
Major General Heath A. Collins to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Lieutenant General Jeffrey A. Cruz to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Major General Michael G. Kashesky to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Lieutenant General Donna D. Shipton to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Major General Anthony R. Hale to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Lieutenant General Laura A. Potter to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Major General William J. Hartman to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Lieutenant General John S. Kolashevsky to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Colonel Matthew N. Gebhard to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Colonel Catherine M. Braun to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Major General Leonard F. Anderson IV to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Lieutenant General Timothy D. Howe to be General.
Object.
Two individuals nominated to the rank of Major General: Brigadier General Mary F. Kruger and Brigadier General Anthony L. McQueen.
Object.
Colonel Jack J. Stum to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Colonel James F. Porter to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Brigadier General Beth A. Salisbury to be Major General.
Object.
Major General Michael J. Lutton to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Lieutenant General James J. Mingus to be general.
Object.
Major General Thomas L. James to be lieutenant general.
Object.
Major General Charles D. Costanza to be lieutenant general.
Object.
Major General James H. Adams III to be lieutenant general.
Object.
Lieutenant General Michael A. Gutline to be general.
Object.
Lieutenant General Philip A. Garrett to be lieutenant general.
Object.
The following three individuals on calendar item 294 nominated to the rank of Major General: Brigadier General Donald J. Cawthorn, Brigadier General Troy L. Endicott, Brigadier General Timothy A. Sejba.
Object.
Major General Sean N. Bratton to be Major General.
Object.
Major General Sean N. Bratton to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Brigadier General Laura L. Clellan to be Major General.
Object.
Colonel John B. Hinson to the rank of Brigadier General.
Object.
Captain Michael T. Spencer to be Rear Admiral, lower half.
Object.
Lieutenant General Stephen N. Whiting to the rank of General.
Object.
Brigadier General Lisa J. Hu to be Major General.
Object.
Following two individuals nominated to the rank of Major General: Brigadier General Jackie A. Huber and Brigadier General Warner A. Ross II.
Object.
The following group of individuals being nominated to the rank of Brigadier General: Colonel Paul W. Dalen, Colonel Hubert L. Davidson, Jr., Colonel Sean M. Fuhlenbach, Colonel Eric L. Gagnon, Colonel Joy L. Grimes, Colonel John C. Kenton, Colonel Scott C. Lewis, Colonel Jason A. Salzgiver, Colonel Darren D. Schuster, and Colonel Jeffrey G. Valley.
Object.
Vice Admiral James W. Kilby to the rank of Admiral.
Object.
Two individuals to the rank of Brigadier General: Colonel Matthew S. Allen and Colonel Lawrence T. Sullivan.
Object.
Colonel Trent C. Davis to the rank of Brigadier General.
Object.
Lieutenant General James C. Slife to the rank of General.
Object.
Major General Sean M. Farrell and Major General Adrian L. Spain to the rank of Lieutenant General.
Object.
Brigadier General Mary V. Krugerto to the rank of Lieutenant General.
Object.
Major General Stephen G. Smith to the rank of Lieutenant General.
Object.
Colonel Renee V. Dorval to the rank of Brigadier General.
Object.
Colonel Robert S. Crockham, Jr. to the rank of Brigadier General.
Object.
Colonel Clifford R. Gunst to the rank of Brigadier General.
Object.
Rear Admiral, lower half, Heidi K. Berg to the rank of Rear Admiral.
Object.
Rear Admiral Jeffrey T. Jablon to the rank of Vice Admiral.
Object.
Rear Admiral Blake L. Converse to be Vice Admiral.
Object.
Rear Admiral, lower half, Michael A. Brooks to the rank of Rear Admiral.
Object.
Major General David N. Miller to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Colonel Paul T. Sellers to the rank of Brigadier General.
Object.
Colonel Michael C. Henderson to the rank of Brigadier General.
Object.
A group of individuals nominated to the rank of Major General: Brigadier General Richard T. Applehans, Brigadier General James B. Bartholomew, Brigadier General Jacqueline D. Brown, Brigadier General Lance G. Curtis, Brigadier General Michelle K. Donahue, Brigadier General Thomas M. Felty, Brigadier General Lawrence G. Ferguson, Brigadier General Andrew C. Gainey, Brigadier General David W. Gardner, Brigadier General Gavin J. Gardner, Brigadier General Claire A. Gill, Brigadier General Garrick M. Harmon, Brigadier General Richard A. Harrison, Brigadier General Joseph E. Hilbert, Brigadier General Darrell O. Hood, Brigadier General Charles T. Lombardo, Brigadier General Douglas S. Lowry, Brigadier General Stephen M. Marks, Brigadier General Mark C. Quander, Brigadier General John T. Rhyme Jr., Brigadier General Lori L. Robinson, Brigadier General Monty L. Roan, Brigadier General William A. Ryan III, Brigadier General Eric P. Shirley, Brigadier General David F. Stewart, Brigadier General Curtis D. Taylor, Brigadier General Brandon R. Tegtmeyer, Brigadier General Colin P. Tooley, Brigadier General John W. Widener, Brigadier General James P. Work, and Brigadier General Richard L. Zellman.
Object.
These two individuals nominated to the rank of Brigadier General. Colonel Christina J. Green and Colonel Colin J. Morrow.
Object.
Colonel Anthony B. Poole to be Brigadier General.
Object.
And the following group of individuals nominated to the rank of Major General: Brigadier General James A. Benson, Brigadier General Karen A. Berry, Brigadier General Bobby L. Christine, Brigadier General Jeffrey L. Copeland, Brigadier General David A. Degalo, Brigadier General Joseph A. Denano, Brigadier General Terry L. Grisham, Brigadier General David L. Hall, Brigadier General Charles D. Hausman, Brigadier General Cindy H. Haygood, Brigadier General Stephen F. Logan, Brigadier General Corwin J. Lusk, Brigadier General Jesse M. Morehouse, Brigadier General Stephen E. Schemenauer, Brigadier General Isabel R. Smith, Brigadier General Craig W. Strong, and Brigadier General Catherine E. White.
Object.
Brigadier General Michael J. Reagan Jr. to be Major General.
Object.
Colonel Harold W. Linian III to be Brigadier General.
Object.
Lieutenant General Douglas A. Sims II to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Major General David T. Isaacson to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
Major General Douglas A. Scheiss to be Lieutenant General.
Object.
I wanted to offer these unanimous consent requests so that I could have a chance to say the name of each individual as a way of letting them know that there are many in this body who will not forget about them until they are confirmed.